So welcome. My name is Alan Wernick. I'm director of CUNY Citizenship Now, and I also write the immigration law column for the New York Daily News. And I want to welcome you to the 10th annual CUNY Daily News Citizenship Now training. So let's hear a big round of applause for all of you. That's terrific. Thank you all for coming today. You know, we try to make this fun. I promise you a very fun day and a fun time at the call-in. And I always say that if your job's not fun, you should look for another job. But you know, and obviously I've been doing this. This is our 15th year at CUNY Citizenship Now and our 10th call-in. So obviously I like this job. But in reading the Daily News this morning, you know, I read an article about 2 undocumented immigrants that were murdered on the Arizona-Mexican border this morning. And they're not sure exactly all the facts, but apparently it was a group of vigilantes. At least that's the allegation. So it just reminded me how serious our work is. I don't want to put a pall on our event, but when you go to the call-in on the 23rd to the 27th, what you're going to be doing is really changing the lives of so many people and helping them on the path to U.S. citizenship. So we'll be mindful of how important our work is. We'll study hard. We'll do a good job. So first, before we get into the morning program, as director of CUNY Citizenship Now, I want to thank the people from CUNY who have made this all happen. First, I want to have a big round of applause for our Deputy Director, Jim McGovern. Is Jim here? I don't know if he's in the room. There he is, in the back. Woo! And to somebody that many of you know who's really our captain in the day-to-day operations of this event, and that's Kim Gashi and her wonderful team. There's Kim. To our Finance and Human Resources Coordinator who's helped us put all this together, Monique Francis and her team. Is Monique here? And finally, to somebody who produced this morning's program, one of the people who produced this morning's program who you're going to meet later, our Communications Coordinator, Sofia Carreño, and her team. Sofia, stand up, stand up. And last, I want to thank one person who's not part of the CUNY community exactly, but we try to treat her like that, and that's the coordinator of this event from the New York Daily News, Louis McWilliams. Louis, I believe, is here. Okay, so now it is my pleasure to introduce the brains and the bronze behind CUNY Citizenship Now. Vice Chancellor Hershenson has been a leader in ensuring that CUNY meets the needs of New Yorkers and New York's immigrant community. In addition to being the visionary behind the call-in, he has helped found 15 years ago a program that's helped tens of thousands of New Yorkers on the path to U.S. citizenship. He is also the founder and chair of CUNY's Mexican Task Force and provides Citizenship Now, the organization that I direct, with the leadership that guides all of our activities. So let's give a especially warm welcome to Vice Chancellor Jay Hershenson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I just flew back from Texas last night, where I visited the University of Texas with my son, and everything went great. Those of you who have children getting ready to go to college appreciate the fact that there are a lot of options in this country, and you have to stay close to your kids as you check everything out. And I left my family in Texas to come back to be here this morning because this is just such an important occasion and one that we're extremely grateful to all of you. You know, I look around this room. I mean, here we are 10 call-ins later. Here we are at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York with all this wonderful equipment and a fabulous, fabulous turnout. And I think back 10 call-ins ago when this first started. How many people were here for the original call-in that we did with the Daily News 10 call-ins ago. Raise your hands. Why don't you stand up and be acknowledged by all of us? Look at this, we have some veterans. As Papillon said, we're still here. And the great thing about the fact that several of us in the room are able to stand up is the fact that most people in the room were not at the original call-in. And that's a great sign, because that shows that this program, Citizenship Now, was able to reach out to many, many more people and develop the call-in over these many years. I just want to say a word about how the call-in started. The real credit goes to Trustee Rita DiMartino and someone who had worked at the news, Delbert Spurlock. They were sitting together on a Washington, D.C. shuttle, just talking, and Rita said to Delbert, who was an executive with the Daily News, I really think you should meet someone at CUNY whose name is Jay Hershenson. And he agreed to do it, and Rita gave me his name, and I picked up the phone and called him and asked to get together, and we sat talking, and I started talking about the fact that the Daily News is a newspaper where, my father used to bring the Daily News home and share it with the family. My father was an immigrant from Poland and wanted to connect with what was happening in New York City, and so he brought the Daily News home. That's a story that many New Yorkers, I think, draw inspiration from. And we sat talking about the fact that CUNY is an institution that serves over 205 descendants. Let me sort of say it a different way. CUNY is an institution where our students hail from over 205 countries. It's a global institution, one that has a deep, deep commitment to immigrants and to helping immigrants and migrants move forward in society. And we started to talk, and in the conversation, it became clear to him that there was something big here. And he said, well, you really have to talk to the editor of the news. And so 2 weeks later, I found myself at Shunli Restaurant, because one of the great traditions in this town is that great minds eat Chinese food. And I sat with Martin Dunn, who had been involved with call-ins in Europe, and we started to talk about what was possible. We knew that the Daily News had an incredible columnist and professor and immigration attorney and immigration expert named Alan Wernick. And I had been working with Alan, I guess, for about 5 years at that point in developing CUNY's Immigration Outreach Assistance Program for our own students. We had been training students to help immigrants, and it was very clear that the time had come for CUNY to go beyond helping students help immigrants who happened to be taking classes, but we were interested in a much broader community outreach program. And we started to talk, and what emerged from those conversations was the idea of doing the first Citizenship Now call-in. And as Louis will remember, when we did that first Citizenship Now call-in, we had no idea what was going to happen. We didn't know what the reaction would be. We did reach out to the mayor's office, and the Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs is here today. I want to especially thank her and her office for their sustained support. We should ask the Commissioner to stand up. Commissioner Fatima Shamma is a fabulous, fabulous leader. And we had no idea what was going to happen. We actually made a mistake because we publicized the call-in. And because the call-in was publicized, which could only be done because of the incredible outreach of the Daily News, which is the largest circulation newspaper really anywhere. Because we publicized the call-in, on the first day, the phones blew out. The response was so tremendous that the phones were gone, and we just had to go crazy, working with Verizon and doing everything possible to put the system back up, and with the help of Louis and the Daily News and Alan and everybody else, the system was pretty quickly put back up. And we suddenly found that the phones never stopped, and that people were continuing to call day after day after day, and we came to the conclusion that indeed we were onto something, that it was just so important in our society for a great university and a great newspaper to work together, to do everything possible to help reach out to immigrants in need who really needed assistance to navigate this horrible maze of rules and laws and regulations that were constricting people and perhaps putting them in the position where they were not fully informed about the opportunities that are available through the system and using the system. You see, we really are the true reformers. I think everyone in this room is a reformer. And my definition of a reformer is someone who believes first and foremost in pushing and using the system as much as possible to assist those in needs, and then looking for ways to change the system to make it better and to constantly improve it. Not to criticize it all the time, but to take the time to use it and push it to its limit, which is really what we are doing with this call-in. I mean, we have to be cognizant and aware of those very rules and regulations and laws because they exist, and we have to try to work as diligently as we can to utilize them to help people. But at the same time, we also have to speak up and publicize the human condition, the fact that so many immigrants who come to this country are really what has made this country great. I was talking a little earlier with Colin Myler, who you'll be hearing from at the Daily News, about the fact that Andrew Grove arrived at City College in 1956. No immigration papers whatsoever. He didn't even have a transcript. And the people at City College, they gave him a math exam, which of course he aced. And they admitted him without a transcript. And Andrew Grove went on to receive high honors at City College, then goes on to Berkeley. Of course, some of you will remember Time magazine named him as the Man of the Year. And he co-founded Intel and became one of the most successful corporate executives really in the history of mankind. That story, by the way, doesn't end because several years ago, David Bauer, who was the son of Russian immigrants, went to Hunter High School, then on to City College in the Macaulay Honors Program. And when he was at Hunter High School, he competed in the Intel science competition and beat out 1,600 high school students to win the first place prize in the Intel science competition. And Andrew Grove was on the City College campus one day, and he meets David Bauer, and they talk. And Andrew Grove later on said, "I looked at David Bauer and I saw myself in David Bauer." And Andrew Grove turned around and gave City College $25 million for the Grove School of Engineering. I mean, that is the story of America. That is the American dream machine. So what we're doing here today in terms of helping immigrants, all we're really doing is helping our country. We're really helping our country because we are, yes, we are, as Alan says, we are looking to transform lives. I do want to throw a few numbers out because I think that everyone here should be aware of this. 97,302 people have been served thus far through the call-ins alone. So we're going to hit the 100,000 mark together with the Daily News. There's no question about that. I also want to especially thank everyone at the Daily News. I know you'll be hearing from them, but we've been working very closely with the news in ways that are really just extraordinary. And I've gotten to know Bill Holliber, who's the president and CEO. He wears many hats. I want you to know that one of the great things that he has done is to work to help the Urban League. And together, we did some fabulous work on the creation of a parent's guide, which, needless to say, is another great way that immigrants are being served. And I also want to thank our friends at the new community college, because this year, for the first time, we're going to be holding the call-in there, and President Scott Evenbach, who you'll be hearing from a little later, has been a fabulous, fabulous host. So you'll be arriving at the new community college on April 23rd, which is located on 40th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. It's the old Catherine Gibbs building. It's very exciting. This is the first new community college at the City University of New York since the early 1970s. And I think it also sends a great message for the call-in to take place at the new community college, because community colleges across this country have been a real portal of entry for immigrants to receive higher education opportunity. There are, I guess, about maybe 1,800 or so community colleges now in the United States of America, and we'll be hearing much more about community colleges. So I think it's a wonderful thing that that is the case. And I also want to say that the work that Alan Wernick and his colleagues do, Jim McGovern and Tamara Bloom and Sophia Corena and Kemet Gashi and everyone else associated with the Citizenship Now program. Citizenship Now is a year-round effort. I mean, this call-in is really the, it's the top tier, it's the cap. It's the wonderful cap on year-round efforts. Those of you who are here for the first time should know that this program of Citizenship Now reaches out all year round through the offices that are located on CUNY campuses, through the information fairs that we advertise and publicize, through the Daily News, through the School of Professional Studies, where the university offers a certificate program for students who wish to take courses in immigration law and immigration policy. They may not want to become lawyers per se, but they work with immigrants and they need to be educated on that maze of rules and laws and regulations. The work that Alan Wernick does and the work that you do is a year-round effort, and I think it sends a message of hope at the City University of New York that we care so deeply about our immigrant communities. My final comment is that I'm very proud because I work for a chancellor who you will meet during the call-in, because he will be visiting for sure. I work for a chancellor who was one of the first, if not the first, chancellors in this country to come out in support of the Federal Dream Act. And it's a position that he took very early on. And several months ago, many of you saw the fact that he also took a very strong position in favor of opening up the TAP program for undocumented students who have graduated from a New York State high school. It's an issue that we care about very deeply at CUNY because we believe so strongly in education. So you're part of something incredibly exciting. I want to thank all of you, and I just want to assure you that all of this is able to take place because of the partnership that exists between a great newspaper, a great university, our corporate partners, our city government partners, our media partners, and most importantly, you. Thank you very much.
I'm always inspired. As the Vice Chancellor said, this call-in is a really terrific partnership, public and private partnership between the Daily News and CUNY. And together, these two great New York institutions that I'm so proud to be involved with have worked together to provide the vision and financing, which is important, and the will to have this call-in 10 times now. And I'm particularly proud, as somebody who writes for the news, to say that the Daily News is really one of the truly immigrant-friendly newspapers in the whole United States. And in taking seriously the fact that we're living in an immigrant city. So today, we're very pleased to have the two leaders of the New York Daily News with us today. This will be their very first call-in. So let's welcome our newest and best friends with an especially loud welcome for the News President and CEO, Bill Holliber, and the Editor-in-Chief, Colin Myler.
This is actually my second official call-in. It's okay, but I've been with the Daily News not at this capacity, but for since 1995, off and on. But I have a little story, and I don't think I really shared this with too many people. I'm from a family of immigrants, and like many of us here, in fact, all of us are. And if it wasn't for the Daily News, my grandparents would never have learned how to speak English. It's something that even today, and I travel all throughout the boroughs of New York City, I hear that story over and over again, whether it be in Corona, Queens, talking to local politicians, or up in the South Bronx, or as even far as Marine Park. The Daily News understands the importance of the immigrant population to this city. And we are dedicated and will always be dedicated to helping immigrants learn how to navigate New York, learn how to navigate its systems, learn how to get a better life. And I think that is what it's all about. And if it wasn't for our partnership with CUNY, you know, we never would be able to pull this off. It's been a phenomenal sort of experience for me, being able to work with so many great people within the CUNY organization, helping us branch out the message of what's available to immigrants, whether it be through legal issues or education. And education, as we all know, is the pathway that is so important to everybody that comes to this country. It creates a bright and a wonderful future. So our commitment is there. It's going to be everlasting. And again, without all of you and the effort that you make to really help thousands of people that'll be calling in a couple of weeks, it'd be amazing what would happen if we didn't do that. And so we wanted to really thank you for your efforts. If there's anything that you see that we should be doing differently, please let us know, because it's about helping New Yorkers, the new people that are arriving here, the future of this great city, and what we can do to help them. Thank you very much.
Well, excuse me, I am the new kid on the block. I arrived back in New York in January. I'd had 5 years here before, working for the enemy across the street. That was the New York Post. So it's quite an interesting challenge to come back and to a city that I genuinely love, to work at the news. You know, I've been lucky in my journalistic career to work for some very significant newspapers that sell significant papers and have a huge audience. One paper I edited had an audience of between 7 and 8 million, sold between 3 and 3.1 million newspapers every week. I think what a lot of people forget is that there's a responsibility that goes with that. But at the same time, newspapers can be an incredible force for good. I can remember when I was at the Post, and I always admired Alan's column in the news. Here is a column that goes right to the heart of the community. It goes right to the heart of the audience of your newspaper. And one of the things that, as an editor, you get great pride in is making a difference. You know, we get into lots of scrapes, and people fall out with us, and people accuse us of not doing basketball as much as baseball, and what's your problem, and all of this. This is a program that even just a cursory look at the success that you have achieved is pretty remarkable. I mean, 100,000 callers, which you will hit this week, is a huge testimony to the great value and the good that this partnership is, to help people who are less well off, in a not the same position as we are, that we have friends and sometimes we can pick the phone up and get help. Professional help, private help, is a huge opportunity for a paper like the Daily News, that it really does have a heartbeat close to its community, and we're very proud of that. And I'm very privileged to find myself as the editor-in-chief of that great newspaper. For all the volunteers, I think there'll be about 400 through the course of the week. Thank you for giving up your time. I think some of you speak 7 languages. I can't speak one. I often say that we're the same English language as the Americans, but it's a different translation. As most of the people in the office will attest, when sometimes I get a little bit short, Louis is finding out a new language with me, which is getting interesting. But Louis, thank you, because I know you've worked incredibly hard with the program and you're very proud of it, as you rightly should be. I'm seeing Jay at the end of the week, actually. It was planned in the diary, and I've just had a talk with him, and I said, 10 years, wonderful achievement. We're proud to be a partner. But where do we take it to the next level? Because there always is a next level. And I think that's a challenge for me and us, looking forward to the next 10 years. You know, where do we go? Where do we take this program? Because we can take it to another level, and I always regard a challenge as something that you never shirk. So if it means that we have to take on a few politicians, if it means that we have to take on a few bureaucrats and shake them up, well, that's what we'll do. And it's a privilege to be partnered with such a great organization as CUNY. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm certainly very inspired. Thank you all. And I just want to say that, you know, looking out of the audience, now that some of you latecomers have filled in the seats, you know, this is by far and away the largest training we've done in the 10 years of the Daily News CUNY Citizenship Now effort. So let's give ourselves another round of applause. The next speaker who has agreed to give us warm words of welcome and support is Fatima Shama. She's the Commissioner, Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, and she's a true leader of New York's immigrant community and a true friend of Citizenship Now. Moya is a key partner in CUNY's volunteer service effort, which helps thousands of people become U.S. citizens every year, as a co-sponsor of the New York City CUNY Citizenship Corps, Volunteer Corps. And she, without her help and without the help of that office, there's no way that we could help as many people as we do. So Commissioner Shama, if you could join us for a few words.
Good morning. How are you? So I have actually had the pleasure of shaking hands with lots of people in years past. In fact, I think I've seen a couple of faces that have actually helped in the work that we've been able to do together with Alan. And you all deserve a tremendous amount of thanks, because it is true, right? We are changing people's lives. And when I go out into communities and I look someone in the face and I commit to them and promise to them that in this city, we ensure their well-being, we ensure their protection, we are here to help them. We have incredible institutions like CUNY that are doing all that they can to make sure that someone's educational dreams, which eventually become the full-fledged dream, are realized. I can also say that there is free assistance, that is quality and good assistance that can be given around immigration issues, but particularly around citizenship, right? If we were to think about what is that thing that people want, it is to become an American. It is to realize that we are all part of this incredible nation that is an experiment, quite honestly, in immigration. But you are part of that, and we couldn't do this without you. So to you, I actually want to say a tremendous thank you. Before I actually go off to a number of things that are happening, in a week, New York City celebrates its 9th annual Immigrant Heritage Week. It is a week where the mayor pledged in 2004 that we would take the time to fundamentally celebrate the contributions of immigrants. It's the contributions that you have given. It's the contributions of your grandparents. It's the contributions we've all heard this morning. And so we'll end Immigrant Heritage Week on April 24th during the call-in. And so it is a pretty sensational opportunity for us to actually do something together. But as a result of this impending week, my week in advance of that is pretty crazy. That said, there are several people I think I just want to say personally thank you to. And one is to Jay Hershenson, who truly, in this city, I say this, when I talk to young people, I say this all the time. Leadership matters, right? You want to work with and for people who you know are completely committed to making changes, right? And to making committed changes for the betterment of people. And there is no finer example of that than Jay Hershenson. And so to you. And great leaders are then surrounded by great people. And so Alan, to you for all the tremendous work and partnership. We have been doing great work together. And so Alan, thank you. So of course, all these stories about the Daily News made me realize what I grew up with. So my parents came to this country in the early 60s. My dad was what then was called a peddler, but today, I think we use the word street vendor, or better yet, my preferred statement is an immigrant entrepreneur. So my dad was an immigrant entrepreneur who did lots of things, but then eventually owned grocery stores. And I probably was about 7 years old when I was allowed to work in them on Sundays. And my job was putting together the Daily News. So the Daily News, but till today, right, my mother, every Sunday, her Sunday is not complete unless she has her Daily News. It is amazing, actually, just sitting there thinking about the role that a paper can have in someone's life, right? We use media as teachers in many ways to help educate and inform. And as individuals, right, we use it to inform ourselves. But the communities that we work with and serve, they're using it for any number of reasons, right? So they're using it for all of those, but they're actually using it to learn English. They're using it to connect and actually better understand their new home. They're using it to sort of figure out what sales are happening, right? What's happening around them. It is really profound. And your leadership in this work has been tremendous, and it couldn't be done without it. And I just actually want to say, there have been beautiful ads that you have done together leading up to the call-in that are calling out actually immigrant stars that have been graduates and part of CUNY. And that stuff is priceless, right? That is priceless as a reminder in all of the communities that we're in that anyone can make it in this city. And you're helping them realize that, and CUNY, you help them realize that. And together, this partnership is just phenomenal. So we do live in the best and most amazing city in the world, and that is incredibly, incredibly obvious on a day like today. where you have incredible people who come together to make a commitment to our communities, and we have incredible people like you who come, who take of their time and of their talent to give absolutely back. Because but for all of this working together, right, this country will only continue to get better because of these continued commitments to each other, to institutions, but to the country. Okay, so thank you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Congratulations.
Well, one of the ways that new immigrants enter into our society is through our wonderful CUNY educational system, particularly our community college. And colleges, and you know, this year, as was mentioned, we're moving. The Daily News has moved, and so we had to move the call-in. So we are taking over the CUNY's newest community college, and you're going to find it a terrific experience. The space is wonderful. The support we've gotten from the staff and the leadership of the new community college has been terrific. It's very convenient because it's on 40th Street, just south of Bryant Park. You know, when I was growing up, we used to call it Needle Park, but it's come a long way since then. So we're very proud today to have with us and we want to give special thanks for all his support, and that is the new president of the new community college, Scott Evenbeck.
Good morning. It's really exciting and humbling for New Community College to be part of this incredible effort in New York City that I think for me it exemplifies the sort of leadership and values orientation that characterizes what Chancellor Goldstein and his team at CUNY do every day within the university and in partnership with other institutions in the city. He got the idea that there should be a new community college, charged a team to plan what that college would be like. I was recruited. I came a year ago. We have a dozen faculty and about 20 staff at 50 West 40th Street. We've talked with prospective students and have now admitted over 300 students. We can only house 300 when we start. They'll all come to 50 West 40th on August 20 for a bridge program, and then school will start right after Labor Day. We'll have our opening convocation in Bryant Park with leadership for that great event coming from Vice Chancellor Hershensen's office. It's a day that I hope you might even want to think about having on your calendar on September 6th. The first community college at CUNY in over 4 decades, and the Chancellor decided with the support of the board and the mayor to found this new college to do our work differently. We have a very hands-on curriculum. The students will be engaged with issues in the city, including immigration, as their curriculum, and they'll do field work and be interviewing folks out in the city as they learn about academic disciplines and move toward their degrees and graduate at rates much higher than typically happens in community colleges. So it's very humbling for me to be part of that and to be part of this. I have an aspiration. After being here today, I had breakfast with 2 BMCC students who are volunteers, first-time volunteers with Citizenship. Now, they're taking time from their busy lives of working and studying to be a part of this important effort, and I can't wait until the new community college students can also be volunteers next year and be part of Citizenship Now. And I join the others who've spoken in thanking you profoundly for the incredible work you're doing. It really is the future of this city and of the country. Thank you.
So, this is the time, a special time in our program. Every year, we honor individuals who have made a special contribution to New York's immigrant community, and this year we're honoring the American Immigration Lawyers Association's Citizenship Day Committee and its pro bono committee. The AILA lawyers play an important role in providing supervision and advice at our call-in, and AILA's partnering this year at something we are going to hear more about later at the largest citizenship application event ever in New York City, and that will be on May 19th. So if I could invite up to the podium our two honorees, Karen Wollman and Charlotte, and if I could also invite up our friends from the Daily News and Vice Chancellor Hershenson to come up to join me at the podium. Vice Chancellor, if you could do the honors to Charlotte Smith, who's right here. Actually, maybe we should, for the photo, maybe we get both of them. And aren't these lovely? Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? I want to give special thanks to Sofia Carreño, who will be up in a second, and her team for having organized this. Here you go. Thank you so much, Karen and Charlotte. Yep. Great. If you, Karen, Charlotte, would you like to say just a word or two?
Thank you. Thank you very much for this award. We really appreciate the opportunities to work with CUNY Citizenship now. They've been a marvelous event partner for our annual Citizenship Day outreach event, and an opportunity at their monthly clinics and at the call-in for attorneys to volunteer and to give back to the community, to learn and broaden our own practices, and to put a much more human and generous face on the legal community, often providing services to people who've had either no interaction with attorneys or worse, no positive interaction with attorneys. And we like having the opportunity to change that. Correct information isn't like soap. You can't use it up, and we like having these opportunities to give back.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'll leave it louder, louder, louder. Come on. Thank you so much. It's just terrific how these AILA lawyers come out. Now, as we mentioned, and as you know, we moved from the Daily News to the new community college. Well, there were some problems in that, and that is that we didn't have a phone system at the new community college that could handle the load that we needed in order to make this happen. And phone systems of that level, you know, it's not like we're a big senatorial campaign where we can just, you know, write a big check and have dozens of people come in. So we were very fortunate this year that we were able to get the support of two terrific technology companies, Cisco Systems and Blue Water Presidio Company. So what I'd like to do today is to invite up to give special thanks for their really truly humanitarian contribution to Cornell Nelson, who's the Public Sector Engineering Manager at Cisco, and Vincent Trauma, who's the Senior Account Executive at Blue Water. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So thank you so much for Alan and CUNY and Daily News for the work you guys have done here. And we really appreciate this recognition for allowing us to be here. I am personally deeply humbled and inspired by the work that you all do, and I salute you all. So just quickly, I think at Cisco, we try to embody the spirit of what we call by a moniker, the human network. And what that embodies is us to go about and through the use of technology, to change the way we work, live, and play. And on behalf of Cisco, I would really like to thank CUNY Citizenship Now, for allowing us to participate in this great opportunity and this great project. And thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. So, when the Deputy Director of Infrastructure for CUNY had asked us to be involved in this campaign, to be completely honest with you, I had no idea what this was all about. So I said, John, what are you talking about? What is this? So after some research and some education, it was our honor to be involved in such a wonderful cause. What the work of CUNY and the good folks at the Daily News and the additional corporate sponsors, but more importantly, all the efforts that you folks put forth with your time is truly, truly special. So on behalf of Blue Water and Presidio, we're honored to be a sponsor and help with just a small portion of enabling this event. So thank you.
That's terrific. I told these two gentlemen that this will be the most meaningful event that they've ever participated in, and I know I'm right about that. We have helped almost 100,000 people take a little step on their path to U.S. citizenship, and some of those people have become U.S. citizens. Today, we are going to hear, one in a video and one in person, from a couple of people that we have helped become U.S. citizens. And to introduce the short video, I'd like to bring up somebody I've mentioned many times, our communications coordinator at Citizenship Now, Sofia Carreño.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Are we doing great? Great. So we are going to present this video with Carlos Reyes. Carlos Reyes came to the United States 9 years ago with his wife and children, and since then he has been working in construction. Last year work slowed down, but he had in his heart his heart set on applying for citizenship. So he called in last April and learned about the free immigration services that CUNY offers. Since at that moment he could not afford anything but the fees, he couldn't afford an attorney, learning that he could obtain reliable assistance at no cost was great news for him. So when he called the call-in, one of you referred him to one of our application assistance events. And here's a story that the Daily News prepared about Mr. Reyes. So let's watch.
Hace varios años, pero no lo hacía por el temor de llenar los papeles.
Sorry, I think it was not properly. Sorry.
Mi historia empezó porque yo quería hacerme ciudadano hace varios años, pero no lo hacía por el temor de llenar los papeles, el idioma, el examen y el gasto que uno tiene que hacer. Hasta que un día estaba viendo televisión y vi el programa y anunciaron esto, que ya era el tiempo de poder hacerse ciudadano, que ya era el momento. Nosotros tenemos 9 años en este país y no queríamos hacerlo por el temor del examen, el inglés y el costo, hasta que se dio esta oportunidad y gracias a ello nosotros pudimos hacer toda la documentación buena, a tiempo, y nos ayudaron sobre todo con el llenado de los formularios que teníamos que hacer. Y por la misericordia de Dios pienso yo que el examen, cuando nos citaron, salió muy bueno en la primera. Mi esposa y yo lo pasamos.
Fue muy fácil.
Fue muy fácil y aquí estamos para animar a la gente a que estos servicios que dan para personas como nosotros, que tenemos esa limitación un poco del idioma en llenar los formularios y el dinero, entonces nos sirvió de mucho. Lo bueno es que hablan en el idioma que tú necesitas. Sí. Nosotros solicitamos en español y nos atendieron personas en español. nos dieron la cita, el lugar donde teníamos que ir y con la amabilidad que nos atendieron, nos ayudaron. Gracias a Dios, nosotros ahora podemos decir que somos ciudadanos.
It's not working. All right.
Thank you, Sophia.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
As you're going to learn today, in the subsequent presentations, when a person becomes a U.S. citizen, very often their children, if they're permanent residents, automatically qualify for U.S. citizenship. So the two children, aged 9 and 17, of Mr. and Mrs. Reyes are in the process of applying for a certificate of citizenship, getting free services at our Ostos College Immigrant Center. So this is not just affecting them, of course, it's affecting their children and, of course, the rest of their family. I'd like to next bring up another person who's been helped by CUNY Citizenship Now, Emma Dyer. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. First, I would like to start by telling volunteers that it is thanks to you and your work behind the funds of the CUNY Daily News Citizenship Now called IM that I'm here today proud of being a United States citizen. Woo! Soon, it will be my 10th anniversary of living in the United States, and I have been around for 2 presidential campaigns, 2004 and 2008. But it will be in this 3rd campaign, 2012, that I am going to participate by voting. This is important for me because I know that if I not vote, I do not account. So, yes. Last April, as usual, I was watching Univision. I saw an interview with volunteers that could answer my question. So I wrote that number, I called. I thought this was a great opportunity for me to become a citizen. I do not have a job, but I have some money. So I say, this is the moment. I asked how to have my N400 checked by a professional for free. They told me to go to Jackson High to participate in Citizenship Application Assistance event organized by CUNY. Later, I went to York College to finish my application. I went to be a citizen to have more job opportunity. I met paralegal Yolanda Bastida. Woo! She reviewed the form and took my picture for free. She also told me about the class to prepare for the citizenship test. The CUNY teacher and volunteers gave me the material to study, and just a few Saturdays, I was ready to take the test. I became a citizen on October 1911. In less than 6 months, CUNY gave me the tool to become a citizen, and every start with a phone call to the CUNY Daily News Citizenship Now called IM. So I am proud to have achieved my citizen because it is a way to honor you, volunteers, who provide this important service to immigrants. Thank you very much for this important work you do, and thank you to Daily News to support this effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor? Vice Chancellor Hirsch. Sophia, why don't you come up? We have a little gift to thank you so much for coming today. We're so proud of you. We're so proud of what you've done, and you're striving to become a U.S. citizen. Get it. One more. Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, volunteers, because thank you, I'm here now, I'm citizen of the United States. You know my English, right?
By the way, I neglected to thank the Daily News for the lovely video that we saw before. Now, those of you who know me know that one of my least favorite type of speaking is to be a master of ceremonies. I'm very pleased that I'm done. I will be seeing you later as a member of the panel, where I'm very comfortable and I enjoy very much. But this part of the job is not my favorite. Now, when my first opening remarks, I mentioned all the people that worked so hard to put this event together. And one person I didn't mention, because I knew I was going to have a chance to speak about her later in the morning, and that's Tamara Bloom, who organized the panels today. So let's give her a great round of applause. You know, it's a tough job to round up all the attorneys, get them to do what they're supposed to do on time. Tamara did a terrific job. We're very pleased to have her as a coordinating attorney with CUNY Citizenship now. So I'll let Tamara take it over from here.
Good morning again. I have a lot of tough acts to follow. I should have prepared a dance, but instead, we're going to begin the program that is going to cover the substantive portion of the information that you're going to be providing to the callers who are going to be calling in a couple weeks. And we're going to get into that in 1 second. I just wanted to make a few announcements. I'm always an announcement person and procedures person. You'll see you've received an email asking for your bio submission. All of the volunteers who participate in the call-in have a chance to publish their photo and their bio in the Daily News, and an email went out with instructions. The deadline is tomorrow, so please be sure when you go home tonight after the training, if you haven't submitted your bio already, please do that. The next announcement I want to make is that we are so incredibly proud that we have an astounding response of volunteers eager to participate in the call-in this year. And we have a few time slots that are over capacity, and we have some that are very understaffed. So there's a flyer in your packages that indicates which times we could use a little bit more help. If people wouldn't mind moving their schedules around, we would love to have you. So that's in your packet if you want to take a look at that, and there's information about how to make any schedule changes that you need to located on the bottom. And one more announcement. After the call-in, we're going to be doing a citywide Citizenship Application Assistance Day in partnership with AILA, NALEO, the Legal Aid Society, the Catholic Migration Office, and the New Americans Collaboration at John Jay College. And there's a flyer with volunteer information. It's Saturday, May 19th, 2012, this May, obviously, open to the public from 10 to 4. And there's information about registering as a volunteer if you're interested in participating, also located in your package. I'll hold it up so everyone can see it. So we would love to see you then as well. We hope to assist 500 people, which will be our largest citizenship application assistance event yet. So we would love to have you there. So I'm going to get started with introducing our first morning session moderator to you. His name is Kamal Asaheb. He's one of our newest staff attorneys, the newest member of the CUNY Citizenship Now team. He is a graduate of CUNY's Queens College, yay, CUNY. And he received his Juris Doctorate at Fordham Law School, where he was a Stein Scholar in Public Interest Law and Ethics. So here he is, and we're going to get the morning session started. Thank you.
Can we have a hand of applause for Tamara? She did a great job in putting this together. So as Tamara said, we're starting with the substantive portion of the program. We're going to start out with family-based immigration. The afternoon session is going to be about citizenship. Just a couple of things about how this session is going to work out. We have 3 panelists, 3 great speakers who are going to talk about 3 different areas of family-based immigration. Each speaker is going to speak for 45 minutes, and then we're going to have a Q&A for 15 minutes after that. The way the Q&A is going to work is you're going to be given flashcards if you haven't been already, and you can just pass them, write your question down, and pass them to your left, and one of our staff members will take them and bring them up to the mic. People who are at home, who are watching this on the internet, you can just simply ask your questions on the chat box that's on the right side of your screen. And if you're here or at home, you can ask your questions either via Twitter, using hashtag CNTraining, or via our Facebook page. Do you guys get clickers? Do you guys get these clickers? Yes? Everybody got them? The way that the presentations are going to go is that the speakers have poll questions embedded within their presentations. So at various points, you'll be asked to participate in answering questions that they pose. So if you can just take a second and make sure that your clicker is on, press the button in the bottom. Okay. There's a step that I forgot to tell you about, and the step is to remove a tab that's blocking the battery.
Please pull out the tab in the back of the battery, and then turn on the button at the bottom.
Thank you, Monique.
Welcome.
All questions are going to be multiple choice, and so you just press A, B, C, D, and then that will be the basis for a discussion that the presenter will have. Our first speaker is Julie Dinnerstein.